All right. Beautiful. Hello, hello, wonderful people. I love seeing everyone's faces here. So good. Wow. Hello, hello, everyone. Wow, I've been offline for some time, but what a significant day to come back, today. 9/11 of all the days to meet. And Dr. Ram, he had a beautiful saying in that he taught me, which is that whatever is your heartache, your obstacle, your challenge has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. And what I found today, instead of remembering, although we always want to remember and honor those whose lives have passed and those courageous people who, the first responders, who went and risked their lives. And what if today we can take some seeds of that and enrich our lives so that no matter what emergencies come, either on the planet or in our lives, we feel more confident, more powerful, more prepared. What are the ancient secrets that, regardless of what happens on this planet, whatever crazy things may come, some statistics were showing that there's a tenfold increase in natural disasters in just in the last few decades. And even within the last month or a couple months, there was that computer outage, that computer glitch that grounded all the planes and took out all the, so many cell phone service gone and so many other things. So what if we're so prepared that no matter what happens on this planet, we walk with more confidence, more peace, more power in our heart? Well, I just want to welcome everyone here for joining today. I'm so excited. I think there's no accident that you're here. And we're really excited to share what we've put our whole hearts into creating and making it accessible for everyone that wants to participate. And we're excited to share that with you. I want to start just by welcoming. I recognize many faces, and then also I recognize that there'll be a lot of people who are new in this course who maybe have never been associated with Ancient Secrets before, and I've never had a chance to meet or connect with. So I just want you in the chat to go ahead and just share where you're joining from. And as you're putting in the chat where you're joining from, I want to do a special shout out and welcome to the two co-hosts, two of the co-hosts of the call. One who is this powerful woman, Carol Ray. Yes, yes.
Hello.
It's so beautiful. Carol, even, as we've been preparing for this, she recognized that her whole life has been about preparing for emergencies, actually. And this is one of her sole purposes, is to help assist people in this. And so actually, even the creation, the offering of this is an imprint of her soul's gift on this planet. Anything you want to say, Carol, as we're getting started?
I am so grateful for finding ways to kind of combat that anxiety that comes with seeing a new solar flare or a bigger earthquake or whatever, to know that no matter what happens, I have the tools, I have the forethought to see myself through something. And I also have that soul confidence that no matter what happens, soul is eternal. God is in all of us. It's going to be okay one way or another. But I have so many things that I've done through the years to try to prepare for whatever comes, and this has really stepped it up a level just by making myself aware and conscious of it. So I'm really excited for you to be here, and I want you to know that this is a very customizable kind of a class that everybody can find something, I hope, that is really meaningful and impactful to them. So I'm really excited to see how all of this unfolds. And we're going to be really flexible about how we go about it so that we can accommodate where you are and how you are and make this the best that we possibly can for you.
Yay, so good. Yeah, Dr. Naram. So for those that know about ancient secrets, my teacher, Dr. Naram, and he would say there's information, but this is about transformation. There's knowing, there's doing, and there's being. And what if you can learn, discover some of the ancient secrets, home remedies, how anything is a medicine or poison, and then you do it in this intro course. So this is an intro course that will lead to something more later on, but we'll have very practical challenge activities. We're actually going to do things. And in doing the things, it changes your being so that when the emergency happens or when the challenge comes, you're in a much different space of being, and that alone is also part of the healing. So thank you, Carol, for being a living, walking, breathing example of that. And the other person I want to introduce as we start off the call is Cornelia. Yes, Cornelia. Cornelia, where are you joining from and why this course now? Why are you so excited about this course?
Well, I'm joining from Paradise Island, the Bahamas, and for me, oh, and for can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
And for me, it is really one of these situations that I have lived through a Category 5 um, hurricane, and seeing the devastation in a community and the non-preparedness of the country, the government, to actually help the people that were suffering for weeks and months. And if it hadn't been for somebody outside of the country to come in and do things here, a lot of more people would have maybe died, and because they just couldn't get any food. And seeing what's going on in the world right now with all these disasters that we are kind of hearing every day in the news, it's time for us to prepare in a way that I have never thought about putting food or extra food in my pantry or anything. But it makes me aware that there's probably a good time to prepare for certain things, having things ready when disaster strikes, and beyond just looking out for the next hurricane coming here my way.
Yeah, I just want to see a raise of hands. Thank you so much, Cornelia and Carol. Both of you have been such a powerful driving force behind actually making this offering. But I just want to see a raise of hands from everyone on the call so far. And first of all, I want to welcome everyone. It's so fun to see all your names. So good to have you here, Melissa and Jan, Jan, Susan, yes, Kristen, Sangita, oh, joining from England, so good. Katie from Sacramento, Larry, one of our actual, co-facilitators, co-instructors of a bonus call that we'll talk about. Patricia from Dublin, Ireland. Cornelia, thank you so much. Kathy from Baltimore, Maryland. Brett, so good to see you again, Brett, from Colorado Springs. Wow. Stephanie from Fargo, North Dakota. Susanna from Spain. Isura from Chicago. Linda, Mount Shasta. So many amazing, beautiful people here. Thank you for being here. So I just want to see real quick, a raise of hands. Anyone that's been through a natural disaster. I just want to see. It could be a hurricane, an earthquake. All right. Yeah, I see plenty of raised hands. Now I want to see a raise of hands. Who's been through a personal emergency? Just something where it was a family member or friend, maybe some crazy thing happened, and then all of a sudden it was crisis mode. Yeah. So beautiful. Life, I think it must be part of life. What do you think, Carol? How many emergencies have you been through total in the last?
Total, unbelievable. Hurricanes, typhoons, earthquakes, tornadoes, snowstorms, power outages, and health issues, and probably 40 or 50 trips to the emergency room with my daughter since about 2017. So, yeah, we kind of live in a high crisis level here, but what doesn't, it gives you strength of character for sure. And I always say, crisis is my superpower. I'm a good calm person in a crisis. So that's yeah, there's a lot going on.
You've been through emergencies all through your life, but there's been a part of your life you've had the ancient secrets.
Hmm.
And just out of curiosity, I know we didn't plan on asking you this, but was there anything tangibly different, the emergencies before versus after having the ancient secrets?
Absolutely, especially like the idea that no matter what happens, there's a gift in it. Kind of our Aditi Deva Bhava, where no matter what happens, you can see it as a gift that God or the goddess has brought to you. So even if it looks like a horrible tragedy, there is something in that, a soul lesson or a connection or an awareness. I do believe that everything that happens does have the seeds of equal or greater benefits sowed into it if we just take time to breathe and look and see what those blessings might be.
Yeah, well, one thing that you have definitely done is you've utilized all these challenges to bring us so many powerful things, including the Ancient Secrets card deck. And I was going to have it here to show everyone because I was so excited to show the printed one and I was getting it ready. So we'll show you some images of it a little bit later. But I want you to start off. We're just going to start off by sharing a couple of the things that have happened in the most recent years. And I know many of you have your own stories too, but Carol, you want to start with Snowmageddon, and then Cornelia will talk about an experience, and I'll share a couple with Dr. Naram.
Okay, you want to bring up the deck so I can just have a few pictures on that, or do you want to do that later?
Mm.
Oh, yeah. So some of you probably have never heard of this gigantic snowmageddon or snowpocalypse that they called it. This happened in February 11th through the 20th in 2001. I forgot to put the date on there. But there were 69 deaths, 44 hours of a mix of different precipitations. Our temperatures were in the -7 to 10 range, which is totally unlike what we're used to. 18 billion in damage, 4.3 million people without power, another 14.9 impacted with these disruptions. So,
Yeah, just real quick, I want to see who has even ever heard of Snowmageddon in Texas in February. So it's in, quite a few people have. Oh, that's really cool. I was thinking because it's so regional, but how impactful sometimes local emergencies can be that maybe the rest of the country doesn't even know about. And are we prepared for that? So let me go back to your awesome
okay.
PowerPoint.
So it started out uh, pretty cold. You know, the temperatures really plummeted down, and this just shows kind of the wide extent where the purple is in the -7 to -10 range. And I'm just north of Austin and south of Waco, so I'm in that dark purple region there where we started getting that precipitation. It's really cold for our part of the world. Next slide. So this one kind of shows that purple is where we were, and that's extreme weather impact. We lost power almost right away. Our water facility in the community of 15,000 people where I live froze and burst. And so we had no water, no power, um, no water for 10 days, no power for 7 days. And so it was quite extensive and a lot of people impacted. Next slide. So this is my backyard and my around my farm. It started with this ice storm, and you can see on my rain barrel that's collecting water off of my roof that was freezing in place. And then you can see the snow accumulation of 8 to 10 inches of snow. And then all of that would melt and refreeze. And what we ended up with was this super slick surface where it was impossible to drive or walk. My daughter was trying to walk to the one and only bathroom that we had available like day 5. My water well power came back, and we had one working toilet, and she was trying to get to it, and she fell 3 times on this slick surface. So the very difficult place to try to navigate. But what was really bad is the toilets inside the house froze. It was below freezing inside the house with no power and no source of heat. I don't have a fireplace. And so how do you keep from freezing to death? And I thought, how ironic. I spent almost 30 years in the electric utility industry about grid stability, and here I am going to freeze to death with a power grid outage. So next slide. So one of the things, even Buster was having to cover himself up to try to combat the cold. But what I had bought a year before was a clay flower pot, and I had little tea light candles underneath it, and it was amazing. About 17 degrees heat just from that little source. And we found a small area with a low ceiling, and that's where I put my daughter and her pups and Buster so that they could have this huddle together situation. And then Osi and I were in the barn freezing. And next slide. um, my temperature got down to 94.7. I was really suffering from hypothermia, and I was going out and trying to like shovel. I'd get a bucket of snow and use that in a toilet when we had no water. And this was my heat source. And how I came about this was asking my angels and teachers and guides, Dr. Naram, anybody, I need help. We're about to freeze to death here. And this is walking around my barn, what I was inspired to do. That's an old refrigerator bin, metal. And I put the tea lights in it, turned a copper pot upside down, and voila, I had heat, enough heat to raise the temperature again about 12 to 15 degrees and make it survivable for us. So I really think it's so important for you to listen to your instincts and ask for that help beyond the veil. I think that's so important, and to use your creativity and make allowances for things that, well, that's not how it's supposed to be used, but in the situation like this, all things happen. And my son was inspired to call me and to say he was worried, and I said, I'm freezing to death. My temperature's too low. I can't think straight. And he said, well, did you think about getting in your car and starting the heater? I hadn't even thought of it. So that's another thing, is to consider the obvious. There was a lot of people stood in lines at the grocery stores. There was, supply chain issues. Almost every water pipe in my farm burst. And so plumbers who couldn't get for 2 to 3 weeks, which extended this period of water outages. But it was a tough time in Texas. It was a stressful time. And I can't even tell you how grateful I am that I had ancient secrets to rely on, and to help center myself and to stay out of angst, knowing that whatever happened, I would be okay.
Mm, amazing. Wow. As she's describing that, anyone else just can feel it with her? Just go raise your hand. I just like can feel the urgency and unexpectedness in Texas of snow and how much that's going to affect life. Cornelia, you ready to share your experience in the Bahamas? Totally different case, but also very
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah, totally different in the sense that where I am on this island, on Paradise Island, we weren't quite as affected as the outer, what they call the outer islands, particularly our island, Abaco, where actually, and then Grand Bahamas, where the hurricane actually stayed as a Category 5 for 24 hours on the same spot. And it was very clear that it would be a major hurricane. And for whatever reason, the government here in the Bahamas didn't really prepare anything. But you might have heard of Chef Jose. He is actually the founder of World Central Kitchen. And he has a restaurant here in the Bahamas in one of the hotels. And he, before even the hurricane arrived here, he filled up one of the storage rooms in the hotel with food. So he flew in with several big airplanes, brought all the food in. And the day, actually on the day we could go out of the house, he had already organized people. So I was actually working in the kitchen with Chef Jose and his team for 14 days, 2 weeks, every single day preparing food. And they were really so well organized. They had helicopters, and so they could fly to the outside islands. They had boats, amphi vehicles, so they could be on land as well as go through the water. Otherwise, these small little islands would have never gotten any help whatsoever. And the devastation was absolutely mind-blowing. And it, to be honest, this hurricane happened in 2019. So it's it's just 5 years ago. And some of the places are still not rebuilt. And it was really about like 4 or 5 months that a team of World Central Kitchen was still distributing food here. And because the people are poor, there was just nothing left, no buildings, no infrastructure left on these islands. And they were definitely dependent on someone coming in. And what he did was really amazing. And I'm kind of thinking, if we are not prepared, even as a small community, there is just no help often from the government. We cannot rely on them.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Cornelia. Wow. Only 5 years ago, and still the impact is felt. So in the chat, I want everyone just to put, like, what is some examples of things that you've lived through? If you've lived through a tornado or a flood or hurricane or fire, wildfires or something else. I just want you to put in, I see Kristen Hill says, lived through a hurricane, 3 floods and fires. It's really, Linda lived through the Loma Prieta earthquake. Yeah, beautiful. And as you're typing that in, just so we get a feel for where everyone's coming from, I'm just going to share a little bit because I know some people have never really heard. A lot of people here, oh, Larry, for fires and earthquakes. Jan, blizzards, yeah, definitely in North Dakota and the Minnesota area. Ariana, earthquakes, floods, major rioting in a foreign country. Yeah, that can also be scary, when it looks like there's chaos happening. Melissa, a small tornado 30 years ago that had 3 different houses get hit by lightning. Katie, earthquakes, blizzards. Susan, also hurricanes, blizzards, and floods. Road traffic accidents, earthquakes, big snow in 1982, power outages. With the ancient secrets for emergencies, we're making sure that everyone knows, yeah, if you're in an emergency, and then call 911, call the emergency service. But what if the cell phones don't work? Has anyone been in a situation where the cell phones just weren't working? I definitely have been in that. Or what if the roads are broken up? Or what if the hospitals are full? What if the ambulances aren't responding? Then why not get in a position where you're so powerful that you have everything there? I'm just gonna quick show. Let's see if I can show this real quick. This is an example of something that Carol Ray took the ancient secrets and let's see, and created something that was so beautiful as a part of the 100-day course, for those who don't know that we also have this possibility. And she created this. I'll show you real quick. Anyone here, I just want to see you raise your hands, who has an Ancient Secrets emergency kit? Who's already collected a lot of the things, the herbs and the spices, even the herbal formulas. Yeah, so this is a emergency kit that Carol created for Jaina, which was really beautiful. Has in it a lot of the herbs and spices. And then this is in Ashland at the Jackson Wellsprings, where we gave us these cards, the Ancient Secrets emergency deck cards. And in this card deck, you actually can flip through it. And whenever an emergency happens, you have a stomach flu or some other challenge or some other problem, you find out what are the home remedies. And it's really powerful. Now, for this Ancient Secrets emergency course, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, about what we're going to do to make sure that you're so empowered that you're not worried about when things come. Actually, that people will come to you. And then the other part that we want to do is we've made it so that way we want it so people have no obstacle to participating in this course, but also so that everyone wants to share it with others. So originally we were thinking of charging $497 for this course because it's easily worth that. I mean, if you're able to even save the life of one person that you love, it's worth way, way more than that. But instead, we're not putting a price on the course. There's 2 steps. One is you make a donation of your choice. And the second is you just tell at least 2 friends or more. Now, the power of that is that when you have friends and family that also know these things, imagine the earthquake comes, you get hit on the head, they know how to help you and you know how to help them. We want to create a big network of people. Afsena, who is in this Ancient Secrets community, she's the amazing one who translated the book into Farsi. She had told all her friends and family about Ancient Secrets so much that when she was in critical need, they all knew what to do to help her until they were able to help pull her out of the coma because she had been so passionate about telling them. So when the emergency came, they were prepared and they were confident. So what are these ancient secrets? Now, for some of you who, most of you in this call right now who are here live have been a part of the Ancient Secrets journey. So you know about Dr. Naram. You know about this great teacher, that he had a master by the name of Baba Ramdas, who had a master. These masters lived to these great ages of 125 or older. The original master was Jivaka. You know that Dr. Naram's patients were people like, and I'll share my screen here a little bit and just go through this as I just want to celebrate and honor these ancient secrets and where they come from. People like Mother Teresa, people like Dalai Lama was his client. People like Nelson Mandela, even tigers and animals. And as a part of the Ancient Secrets for Emergency course, we're also helping you know how to take care of your animals. Dr. Naram learned these ancient secrets, and he said his mission was to help every heart and every home on earth be blessed by this. The ultimate master Jivaka had a very powerful saying that anything is a medicine or poison depending on how you use it. So what if you discover how anything in your kitchen that you mix together can be a medicine? And when you're in critical need, a lot of these secrets were recorded on these ancient manuscripts. And then with Dr. Naram, I traveled for over 10 years and documented thousands and thousands of cases and met so many great masters, mystical masters that had preserved these ancient secrets over time. Here's me and Dr. Naram in Nepal, where he's going through these ancient manuscripts and sharing with me some of the powerful secrets for things like how to help Alzheimer's and memory loss, diabetes, blood pressure, joint, eyes, even things like how to attract the right person into your life. And then other secret home remedies, all these ancient healing secrets that are so powerful that it made him in such a position that when the 9/11 happened, and the planes hit and the Twin Towers came down, Dr. Ram was in such a position, he knew the ancient secrets and he said, I can help. And he ended up helping thousands and thousands of 9/11s and other first 9/11 firefighters, police officers, and other first responders so much that he ended up getting an award from the governor of New Jersey and the state legislature of New Jersey, honoring him for being of such great service to humanity. So here's the honorable former Governor Christine Todd Whitman, and it was so fun to be at that event and to get him recognized, see him recognized for these things. So what if it puts you in such a position where you can help and you know you can help? I wanted to show this. Vinay, are you able to, I don't know if you're able to come on the camera, but sometimes it's beyond like tragedies that affect everyone, and sometimes it's just a tragedy that affects you. It's a big emergency. This was an emergency, and I don't remember, Vinay, if you were here for this one. Are you there, Vinay? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Ram, he always loved having a hot water bottle at night. And those rubber water bottles, well, he pours in it boiling water, and we're on one of our pulse clinic tours, and all of a sudden the rubber burst and the boiling water spilled over his arm and created almost stage 3, stage 4 burns and blisters. And so you can see this was his arm. And look, he still even then got a smile on his face because he knows he has the ancient secrets. Now that's an intense amount of pain. Now, what if you're in pain and you know that you can handle it? Well, this was actually only about 3-4 weeks later after applying all the remedies, and he had his own ancient secrets emergency kit. Look at his arm. It just has a little bit of a red. Amazing. Dr. Ram was also in Nepal when the earthquake happened. This is the orphanage, the original orphanage that Dr. Ram took me to and said, this is now your family. And we were there in Nepal, and he was there when the earthquake hit. And you can see the devastation. A couple of the kids got hit by things that hit their head. One was knocked out and had to be taken for help. In that situation, he knew that he could help. Vinay, do you remember that situation? Anything you want to say about Dr. Naram's response in emergencies?
Yeah, I still remember that when this situation happened, and I forgot the name of that, but it says the old Nepal.
Yeah, Bhaktapur.
Yeah, Bhaktapur. And there was a lot of the homes and everything came out, and the debris. Dr. was the best part I learned from the Dr. is that in any situation, as we saw that he got a 3rd-degree burn, but still he was keeping himself calm. That's the most important part, that when you in a situation, either you scream or you run here and there or keep yourself calm. Once you keep yourself calm, you can able to work out the things, or you can work out the possibilities, and you can find the solution. There were many responders from the Red Cross Society and everything, and they were not able to. I still remember that when they were in the hotel where they are staying, and there was a shaking because of the earthquake, many doctors who came to help there, they started jumping out of their window, and they got hurt in the hands and legs and everywhere. But Dr. Ram was remaining calm, and he came from the staircase downstairs, and he was trying to help them. So this is the most important part, that how you can keep yourself stay calm and manage the emergency.
Yeah. What if when something happens, you have the ancient secrets so that you're not only able to help yourself, but help those you love. And in a case where there's widespread kind of panic, you know that you can help your neighbors and your community, that you've empowered yourself in such a magnificent way that you're coming from a space of calm instead of fear. Now we have a very practical example today to actually give you an experience of that, where you'll have a chance to witness something. And actually, Carol, you want to describe what's about to happen?
Oh, yes. We were going to ask you to really check in with how you're feeling, your emotions, and your body, and then to share a video that Cornelia has compiled of some natural disasters, and want to kind of have you check in with yourself and see how these things can affect you. And then, are we going to do Marmas before the video or after the video? I forgot.
We'll do it after. So yeah. So we're gonna do like three things. First of all, right now, check physically, mentally, emotionally on a scale of 0 to 10. Just close your eyes just for a moment. And just check 0 to 10, your level of stress and tension in your body, level of anxiety, stress, tension, and just give yourself a number. And you can even go ahead and put it in the chat if you want to. So it's not anything super personal. I'm gonna put myself at okay, beautiful. Just whatever the number is on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 is a lot of stress, tension, and 0 is not very much. Beautiful. So now that you have that, Cornelia, do you want me to play the video from my computer? Would that be helpful, or you have it ready? Okay, so I'll go ahead and play it from my computer here. Now, as you watch this, this is the actual earthquake that happened in Nepal and several other emergency situations. I just want you to picture yourself in that place and experience it as if you were there. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you now. So that was the earthquake. Imagine that. Seeing these ancient temples. This is a Japanese earthquake. Mm. I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause it right there. And go ahead and again, close your eyes. And after experiencing some of the earthquakes and the tornadoes and just notice what 0 to 10, it increased your tension in your body by what amount. Just go ahead and notice a new number. It's just a way to just experiencing something for yourself. And then we're going to teach you something where you can always have to adjust that. So go ahead and put the number in the chat. Yeah, most everyone has raised at least a few numbers, if not more. All right, and now as you put that in the chat, Carol, go ahead and please share.
Brought back a lot of memories for me for being a young child in Odessa, Texas, and my mom and sister and I holding the doors open on opposite sides as the tornado came through the house and sloshing mud and sticks and dirt all in the corners of the house. And holy cow, tornadoes definitely raised my anxiety and my levels. So we wanted to share with you something called Marma Shakti, and I'm going to put a definition in the chat so you can see that. It's an ancient technology of transformation. It works on sensitive, energetic points affecting all levels of the body, mind, emotions, and spirit to remove blockages and communicate messages. Shakti is power already inside you. Marma goes inside and helps to bring it out. The healer is just a midwife, but you deliver your own baby. That's from Dr. Naram. So we wanted to share with you 3 examples of marmas that are very helpful in calming and bringing ourselves into that equilibrium of being centered. And one of those is at this very sensitive point below the nose and above the lip. And we use our left hand to support the back of our neck. And we press in below the nose 6 times. But when we do it, we're going to exhale and inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale for 4. Exhale. Inhale for 5. Exhale. And inhale for 6. And this helps stimulates life energy, prana. It helps bring some focus to the brain. And one that just the breath alone can help calm you, but in combined with that marma, it does wonders at helping you get calm. And then another one that is really helpful, and this is really great for children when they're having anxiety. And we shared this a lot in Lahaina with children who were traumatized by the fires and that sort of thing. And this one, you use your hands together and with your palm on your forehead, and then your third fingers touch, and then you spread those out over your scalp, and you pull and push a little bit at a time, and kind of pull up for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this works great on autism, ADHD, ADD, and so other many things like that to help calm and bring that sense of peace and it's okay. I'm safe and it's safe to feel safe. And then the third one is once we've done something and we're acknowledging ourselves, we use our right hand and we pat our heart 6 times and we say, well done. Good job, me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done.
So good. So now I just want you to go ahead and one more time, you close your eyes after done doing this and breathing in this marma point, and anchoring in like this. You close your eyes and just see on a scale of 0 to 10, what's the level of stress or anxiety in your body now? After having done even just one time the simple marma, you can just give us a number 0 to 10. Oh, beautiful. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I see for just giving some examples, Judy Lamar went originally from a 3 baseline to a 9, Judy, after the watching the earthquakes and different things. And then Judy, you want to unmute yourself and just share where what you are at now? I don't know if you're able to start your video or not, but here she is. There we go.
Yeah,
Oh, I unmuted you. Just
I'm
one
lower than I was the first time, so I'm down to a 2. So
Yeah,
thank you.
good. From a 3 to a 9 and then down to a 2. So this is really powerful. And I see it's a common thing for a lot of people, where even this number, uh, yeah, like Ariana, I just actually maybe I'll just call on you as well. Oh, it looks like you don't have your camera on. So anyway, but I see a lot of people went from like three or 4 up to an 8 or 9, and then now down to a 1 or 2. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Judy, I love seeing you so much. Makes me so happy. I have my I love Hmong soup bag here nearby. All right. So, wow, that's awesome. And it's accessible and it's free. And we always have our hands with us. You could be at the grocery store, you could be at church, you could be walking, around their neighborhood, and anything could happen. And you have in your hands the power to bring calm and peace to yourself and to other people. Now, I have so many stories about Marma Shakti. These are just a couple. And there's many during this Ancient Secrets for Emergency course where you're going to get a chance to practice. So that way you're ready at any time. Ones that can help decrease blood pressure or ones that can help with any number of things. Carol, anything else you want to say about this before we move to the next section?
Just that one of the main things we want to come out is that building that muscle of doing your Marma practice daily, maybe 6 times a day. I set my phone so that it would go off and I had Marma time instead of hammer time. I had Marma time. And that we build that routine, that habit of doing Marmas daily, a mantra that helps you find your calm and your peace, and about what's important. What do you want? And having that priority. If you want to feel safe, you want to be prepared, then this becomes a pretty high priority for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Even with our kids, these beautiful kids from Nepal, one of the things that they love is when we're doing Marma with them, and it really builds over time. It prepares you. It's like an inoculation in some ways as well. It's nice to have in the point of emergency, but it's also nice when you build the habit of infusing your life with that. And then, the ancient secrets, ultimately, it's really not just about helping people in emergencies. It's about helping people with all of life to discover, what do you want, and how can you achieve that in a non-toxic way so then you can enjoy what you've achieved. One of the beautiful things about participating in this course, Ancient Secrets for Emergencies, is because you get a lot of experience, but it helps you beyond the emergencies. Now, we have a few minutes left, and I want to make sure we talk about what will happen during this. So again, this is an intro course that will lead to something else. Ideally, we want to have our homes be sanctuaries. We want to have our neighborhoods be sanctuaries. We're going to talk about that. Will be something that we lead to and how to be prepared in all ways for that. But Cornelia, are you in a place? Oh, Ariana, I see you did come off of on camera. So I just want to say for a moment, what did you notice the before versus after this experience? Anything that was your experience?
Well, I always find those marmas just take it way down, it just, those have been so helpful to me in a lot of different circumstances where if I've had fear come up, even little fears, if I just stop and it also just brings me out of my chatter in my head, the presencing one, it's like, it just brings me totally out of that. And I get very, very calm. And I also like this one does it for me too. I don't know what that one's called, but that one as well. All 3 of those are fabulous. Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll be hearing more from Ariana too, as she is someone who leads courses in foraging for food, and also spent many years teaching people some of the FEMA type of preparedness. So we'll have more from Ariana during the course. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, and since we also have Larry on, I'm just going to spotlight him for a second. So grateful for this amazing man. You know, just he can give you one tip and you can decrease your water heater bill by 30%, you know, and so many other things that you can do to prepare your home base, so that you're not only ready for emergencies, but also just that it's optimally functioning. You know, an amazing book that he wrote about how to fix anything in your home or life. You know, it's really, really powerful. So we're grateful to have a bonus call from him specifically regarding emergencies. So glad you're here, Larry. I
Thank
love
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
He's also been off grid for how many years, Larry?
About 20.
20 years of off-grid living experience. So definitely somebody that we can learn from. So thanks so much for being here.
Amazing. Another one of the bonus calls that we have is with Tony Litster, who's not on the call right now. But how do you prepare your finances? You know, what happens when you don't have access to electricity? Or what do you prepare? Just basically, how do we get ready for anything? And then we can launch and live our lives so fully instead of coming from fear. Okay, Cornelia and Carol are going to go through a little bit about what is in this course. And I don't know, Cornelia, if you're able to share the inside of Kajabi or not, but main thing is we have a lot of awesome resources that are accessible at any time for you. And we wanted to make it so easy, so that way, what if there's no technology, that you can print off the stuff and have it at home somewhere ready for the moment of need. Cornelia, you want to share a little bit about the structure of the course?
Yeah, I can share. The structure of the course is going to be that we start in about 4 weeks on the 10th of October, and we will have 4 calls, and each of those calls will be about 2 hours long, and they will be about a month apart. And between those main calls, we will have some additional calls where, for example, Larry is going to speak, or Tony Litster, and then we will go deeper into certain topics. And so we will cover certain aspects of what do you do in certain situations? What are you going to do if there is flooding? What do you do when you have a fire? What do you do when certain disasters are striking in your area? So it is really about learning how to be prepared. What do I need in certain situations? We are thinking, of course, about the emergence from ancient secrets, then, of course, doing always the mamas, calming yourself down first. But then also, what would be good to have, for example, in a grab and go bag? If you have to evacuate within a few minutes, what would you really need in there that you could just relax? Because I mean, I'm a boater, so I'm often on a yacht, and that's what you have to have by law, is you have to have a grab and go bag. And I never really thought about having a grab and go bag in my house, but it makes so much sense, because when things happen, and later on, you might need your papers, you might need your documents, you might need have some money, you might need to have some cash because nothing else is working. So what actually do we need in all these different situations? And so each main call, we will go through certain emergencies or disasters, as you might want to call them. And then we will help you prepare for these situations very specifically. And
yeah, so every week is very practical, very hands-on. And then there's the challenge activity that week of something that you'll get ready. So that way in your home, you have it. And you know that you feel the confidence of knowing that. And then so these will happen once a month. And then in the midst will be these other bonus calls as well. Cornelia, do you want me to share real quick the landing page where people register? Would that be helpful?
yes, you can. Yeah, you can do that, and I'll get the course interior
Well,
ready.
I typed it in the chat just so everyone has access to it, and basically I'll just show it real quick. When you click on that link, you'll see a little short 3-minute video from me and a place where you can join the course. Now, for those that want to discover more, there's a whole description about everything that's in the course. You know, what if you're in a situation where, due to the natural disaster, terrorist attack, there's no access to emergency support, hospitals are full, roads are blocked or ruined, your phone doesn't work. In critical times, are you prepared? And then in the course, we're going to do everything we can to prepare you for all these kind of things: wildfire, hurricanes, tsunamis, tornadoes, blizzards, earthquakes, terrorist attacks, pandemics. These have such big impact on people, but what if we can be prepared? And so through marmas, through understanding the emergency kit, home remedies, through understanding not only mental situation, but having a grab and go bag and so many other things. We have the exact dates of the main calls here. And then there's some bonus content for those that actually register within this next week, I think it's by Sunday. We have something so cool. It's called 7 Days to Tranquility with Cornelia, the Zen of Nia. And this is such a cool experience that just helps bring you so much presence, which is especially helpful in emergencies or any time in your life. Through this practice, you'll find stillness and movement, reconnecting with all your senses, and grounding yourself in the present moment. Honestly, to join the Ancient Secrets for Emergencies just for this would be worth it. How will you prepare yourself? You'll learn ancient secrets that will help you stay focused and calm in any challenging or life-threatening situation. You'll develop emotional resilience as you learn to cope and prepare for uncertainties and develop problem-solving skills. You'll acquire a proactive mindset to help you prepare for all kinds of life challenges. You'll create your own emergency kit. You'll learn practical tools and simple remedies can be applied to the most common health challenges that you may face in an emergency situation. You'll acquire knowledge and experience with these ancient technologies, ancient secrets that will make you more independent in helping yourself and those you love in emergencies. You'll create various step-by-step emergency evacuation plans for the most likely disasters in your area, and you'll be ready to take immediate action when confronted with an emergency. You'll be less dependent on external help, particularly in the first days after disaster strikes. It's a really holistic, beautiful approach, and when you're ready, you can just click. And like I said before, originally we were going to charge $497. We thought it was easily worth that, 10 times that, but we just wanted to make it accessible to everyone. And so that's why we say you name your price, basically. We put $20 as the minimum, but some people will be able to pay more, some people will be less, but we didn't want that to be an obstacle. The main thing is we want you to tell people about it so that as many people can benefit from it as possible. So 2 steps to register. 1, you make a donation of your choice, whatever it is. And 2 is you invite 2 or more of your friends or family to also join. And when you do so, really, we're going to be making this world a happier, healthier place to be. Cornelia, anything else you want to add, or Carol, anything else you want to add about course structure?
I just want to plug Cornelia's 7 Days of Tranquility. It's for many of us got to participate in Ashland at our conference with Cornelia leading opening for the heart chakra, and it's life changing. Just that piece alone, it's an amazing skill set that she has that she's sharing with us. So I just really encourage everybody that, even if you say, well, I'm not much of a dancer, it's not about that. It's about connecting in your body and connecting the heart mind. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that. I've done a couple of her classes, the full classes, and unbelievably helpful and powerful.
It's so beautiful. Cornelia, anything else you want to add about course structure? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I am a little bit technically challenged at the moment, so I have to always to see what is on and what is not on. Yeah, the structure is just really being practical. So we have done a lot of where it is, and as Clint said at the beginning, a lot is always about information. What we really want to achieve here is the transformation by really being practical. So you are really prepared. Like I said, like Jose, he was prepared. When we arrived in the kitchen, everything was there that we needed. We had all the food. We could prepare sandwiches on the first day, and it was on the second day when the first hot meals went out, which is unheard of in a situation like that. He is now all over the world. But that is preparedness. We couldn't have done anything if he hadn't prepared all of that and brought the food in before nothing was actually able to come in. So that is what we want to achieve. And I'm really getting emotional about that, because when disaster strikes, we are always, you've seen that, just watching the video, what does it do to your body? the first reaction is tension, is really to shut down. And that also means that our brain doesn't work properly. The moment our body is not working and functioning, the brain doesn't work. But this is exactly the situation in an emergency where we need our mental capacity to do all the things that need to be done in that moment. And I would like Carol to share her story with her sister, because that is such an example where I saw that is what we really need to be able to stay calm no matter what.
Yeah, that was I think it's 3 years ago now. It was a bidding from spirit that I needed to go to New Mexico on mid like 6th of April, which wasn't my plan at all. But there was a really important reason that I needed to be there. There was a fire started intentionally by the Bureau of Land Management, a prescribed burn in Hermit's Peak near Las Vegas, New Mexico. And that was started the day I arrived. And by 4 days later, the fire had spread throughout the valley, and we had a mandatory evacuation of our community, which is called Penderay. And my sister didn't handle that news well at all. She was crying and inconsolable and unable to do any of the things that we had to get done. And I'm so grateful that I do have the tools. I do have the marmas. I could calm myself, and I jumped into action. And I want so much for other people to have these tools so that if they're confronted with a mandatory evacuation, they don't go to fear and panic. They go to, I am a survivor. I have a plan. I'm going to work my plan. And you start your action instead of being paralyzed in fear. That's such a horrible feeling. And the outcome was 350,000 acres burned in New Mexico. 55 of our neighbors lost their homes. We did some really smart things even before the fire was a threat. We had our yard cleaned of all the pine needles. We had someone cut branches up 7 feet high on the pine trees in our yard. And we went from a shake shingle roof to a metal roof. And I really believe that's why our house was spared. We lost the community center, the restaurant, the Moosehead Saloon was gone. And it's going to be a long time before it comes back to where it was. But that's one of my primary motivations, is to help people have tools to remain calm so that they can save their lives and other lives by being able to overcome fear.
Yeah, I feel that so much. I would really want to acknowledge these two amazing women again. And I believe because of their driving force, even for Carol, knowing this is one of her life's purpose, is to make this accessible, that lives are going to be saved, that things are going to happen where people come from, not from fear, but more from that purpose, that possibility, that confidence. That doesn't make it easy, but it makes it possible. I'm especially grateful for Dr. Ram, these ancient masters, for preserving these ancient secrets for thousands of years so we could have it today. And that through Zoom or telephone or internet or technology, literally on this call, people from all over the world saying, yeah, I want to have these secrets. As the book was translated into over 30 languages, to see places like Turkey when the earthquakes happened and how valuable it was for them to have this information. Or in our community, Mindy, seeing her house burned in the Lahaina fires and all the trauma and that came with that. And then the gratitude, not only for having the ancient secrets but for also being part of an amazing community where that you're not alone. That we love you and we're with you. And in fact, it was originally when the earthquake happened and these little guys were left without their home. That's when we originally had people around the world, even if they couldn't contribute money, they could record a selfie video saying, I love you and I'm with you. And to have that kind of community as you're preparing, holding you accountable. And then when the moments of urgency come, that you're not alone, is priceless. So I want to open it up for a few questions, but I know some people need to leave. And so if you have a question, I love it. First of all, I want to acknowledge Kristen. She says, excited for the course. Already shared the link with 3 people. That's awesome. So good. And I hope you feel the love in this. Our only intention is as many people participate as possible. That's really our heart desire is that these ancient secrets get in the hands and homes of those who will need it. And so I hope as you register for this course, you feel the excitement and the love infused into this, and understand this is just the beginning as well. See if there's any questions here. Monica, so beautiful. What a blessing
Steve
to
has
be.
a question.
Oh, Steve. Yeah, Steve, you have a question for us? Or raising your hand just because you want us to know? All right, I don't see him being able to mute. All right, so
I'm sorry.
oh, okay, got it. All right, so in this particular case, what I'll do is I just actually invite everyone. Let's see if I can invite everyone to unmute. Let's see, invite. So I go ahead and put your hands together like this, and I invite you all to say, I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm
Love
with
you and I'm
you.
with
And I'm
you.
with you.
Love you.
And love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and
Love
I'm
you
with
and I'm
you.
with you.
Love you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm
Love
with
you
you.
and I'm with you.
Love
Thanks
you
for
and
coming,
I'm
Mel. It's great to see
Love
you.
you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm with you.
Love you and
Love you and I'm with you.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank
Love you and
you.
I'm with you.
Leonore.
Love you and I'm with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love
Oh, thank you so
you.
much.
Love you and I'm with you.
Bye, Phil.
Love you and I'm
So beautiful. Love you. I'm with you. Looking forward to join with you between now and Sunday. If you register, you get that bonus of the 7-day experience with Cornelia. Officially, we'll start on October 10th. So share this intro video with as many people as you can. Our goal is to have at least 250 or more people participating with us. And I think easily there's 2,500 people, 25,000, 250,000 people that would need this information because of what's coming on the planet. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for letting love guide you. There's no accident that you're here. I love you and I'm with you and looking forward to what's about to come. Namaste.